Friends, fans, and fine folk, grab your drinks and snacks and come on down around the short rest campfire to watch the Season 5 trailer for my friends at Deerstalker's new Season 5 of One for All. Beer, 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 beer.
A crime has been committed. One of you shall answer. It was her. It was that pink tiefling.
Whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty?
What'd I do?
Arson! Murder! Magic!
Stop hitting me so hard!
Why did you break in here?
He's cheating! Disqualify him!
Barely broke a sweat.
You know, I had a whole session planned out, and then you just went ahead and murder herbered your way through the whole town and then went completely off the rails. So now I am improvising a whole new campaign on the fly, so I'm sorry if it's not as consistent as it could be.
Now, can we get this game back on track?
With friendship, you get your wish. With friendship, I'll catch you like a fish.
Friendship means you get your turn. Friendship helps your enemies burn.
Friendship is the food on your plate. It's the knife in the throat of the people that you hate. It's the white hot rage that helps you in the war. It's the brains on the walls and the blood on the floor.
We'll destroy you.
And that's what friends are for.
And how was that? Did you enjoy it, everybody? Welcome in, all of my friends. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Short Rest. Welcome back to Short Rest, I should say. This is the first time that I've had return guests. Say hello. Make sure I've got your audio.
Yes.
Good.
Hello.
Good.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, first time having return guests to a Short Rest. I interviewed or chatted with, at the very least, you guys. 2 years ago or so now. When I was.
Has it been that long?
It was something like that. Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah, when I was first starting the Short Rest series, it might have been like a year and a half or something. I can't remember exactly. I know I've been streaming for 2.5 years, but I don't think I've been doing Short Rests the entire time. I think that was a slightly later thing. What's up, Watcher? The Watcher is in chat. Adam from Viva the Dirt League. He just says, "Dang, that was a good trailer."
Thanks, man.
he's like, "Damn, that was a good trailer. I wasn't expecting it." Normally that stuff's shit,
damn.
but like, yeah, maybe it was a damn. Maybe it was damn. That was a good trailer.
I'm surprised as everybody else here that it turned out as well as it did.
Well,
it
is
nice seeing like little moments, like little character moments we decided to do in the moment get represented in the trailer as well.
Yeah, it's like one of the best parts of the like you got to show the best parts in the trailer. So you like.
Yeah, no, it was really fun.
You're like, oh, I improvised that bit.
Yay!
Yeah, I mean it's very interesting. Like having edited the trailer, you know how people complain that like movies these days show too much in the trailer. But I was just like, when I was editing this, I was like, oh. Everything's so bloody brilliant. I want to put all of it in. How do I cut stuff out?
So you were the one responsible for the edit of the final edit of the trailer?
Yes.
Very good. Well, we'll go down the lines and introduce people so that people from my community know who the hell I'm talking to today. People who may not know who you guys are, may not have seen your content before. So, Deerstalker Pictures, if you haven't checked them out, go and do so right now on YouTube. We'll wait. And then we'll go down individually across the line as well, and we'll start with my friend Thomas because he's right next to me. So why not? Hey Thomas,
Thanks,
who are you?
Man.
I go by Forgeling. I play a character called Artrius, who is well, we don't say that on stream. And yeah, I guess I'm a creator of sorts. I do costumes, props, and now acting. Oh God, I'm so sorry.
And forging.
Oh, and forging, yeah.
He forges signatures.
That's kind of the joke of the name.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I actually just stole it off a magic card, but that's also cool.
Really? Like, did forging genuinely come from?
It did. It's a card from I think Ravnica original set called Greater Forgeling.
Oh, wow.
Except I just took out the greater section.
Because you're not great.
Lesser.
Yeah, it's just, I'll work up to it.
Working up to it being greater. That's actually incredible. So I like to generally start off my short rests with talking about names and where they come from and stuff, but. That's very interesting. So I all this time thought it was entirely just to do with the fact that you forge. You're a blacksmith.
No, I didn't even forge until like 2 years ago. Just like
oh, wow.
Lockdown.
Yeah, perfect.
Should probably start doing this at
coincidence.
some point.
Yeah, probably. All right, moving on down the line then. Elliott.
Hey guys,
Who are
I'm
you?
Elliot. I'm the writer and director of a little show called One for All. Yay! Woo!
Tell us a little about One for All in case anybody happens to have turned up to my stream not knowing anything about who it is that I'm talking to today.
I mean, yeah, I think if you're here without knowing anything about, you should at least know about D&D. I would hope.
Yeah,
I mean, I know
it would
Rob's
be
like
odd if
a
they just,
charming
like,
person, but I'm sure you probably like.
they were trying to get to a different website entirely and accidentally typed twitch.tv/Robert Hartley GM. Oops, where am I? What am I doing
Roll a
here?
natural one on typing.
Oh my god.
So One for All is related to D&D. We've got that much.
Yes, so it's like a web series on YouTube which follows party as they go about the lands, just getting into all sorts of trouble, pissing off a whole bunch of NPCs, that sort of thing, and we cut back and forth between the events in the fantasy world and them playing the game at the tabletop with the dungeon master.
And it's for anyone who's like, I don't want another actual play of like 3-hour content every week to watch. No, this is like comedy skits about D&D. It's not actually following an actual like game so much.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. We'll drop down below me here. Fall, who are you?
Hi, I'm Full, and I play Nixie, the pyromaniac tiefling. The pink one.
The pink one of the party.
Pink one.
Where do people
You can't
find you?
tell by the coloring of all this. I do enjoy the color.
We just call it pink bits.
Yeah, pink
It's
bits.
weird.
Not sure we do.
Not sure we do that.
Not sure we do that.
Yeah, no.
I don't think we
Hold
call
on.
me that.
Let me check my notes.
Nope, I've got to cross through it.
Didn't say this stream had to be. Didn't say this stream had to be PG-13. Therefore, I can say whatever I want. Where can people find you outside
Someone's
of
getting a talking to later.
outside of One for All? Fall. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Full Cosplay on here on Twitch, and Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, you can find me on
All
those
of the
places.
places. Full Cosplay. People know how Google
Yeah.
works. All right. In the middle there, we've got Kendall. Kendall. Okay, he disappeared. How rude. All right, I guess we'll move on. Jen, how are you going?
Hi. Hi, I'm Jen, or Selling Cosplay. I am the makeup artist for One for All, and I also play Vlithrin, the Trident Cleric, who I can actually reveal is in season 5. 4.
Yeah, it's good.
We've done this for 5 seasons.
You get to a point around
Yes,
about
we
number
have.
5 where you start to lose count, and you're like, wait, no, it can't be 5, surely.
Yeah, it's what's the saying? Is it 6 seasons in a movie? Is that what
6 seasons in a movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, don't talk about our future plans here.
Yeah, that's very much later in the
We gotta get past season 5 first.
Yeah.
This is where Supernatural should have stopped, right?
Yeah. Well, it was at its top, yeah. Yeah, and I so I do all the special effects. It's kind of like me, basically mostly me doing the makeup. Sometimes I have an assistant, which is amazing. Night. Just go by Night Cosplay? Just Night. Anyway, they're amazing. But yeah, you can find my my cosplay work on Facebook, Instagram. I actually use Facebook, weird. Twitter, everything at Soylent Cosplay, and on Twitch I am Soylent Play because I don't know why I decided to make that just different. I really shouldn't have, but I did. So that's the
Consistency's
thing.
not what you want when you
Yeah.
come into branding and marketing. Consistency. Everybody says, don't go for a consistent name across all of the
Yeah,
things.
no,
right?
everyone's different.
Definitely
Add a
doesn't
couple
help.
ones in there too.
Yeah, put some
They're all
underscores in some of them and put some letters on the end in others. Excellent. So that's who they are. If you guys are here from their communities and not my community, I'm Robert Hartley GM. I'm a full-time Dungeon Master and TTRPG player. I run a campaign for Viva la Dirt League comedy group here in New Zealand. And ever since we started and you guys started in our respective communities, there have been nothing but comments like, hey, you guys should collab with the Viv guys, and Viv guys, you guys should collab with the Deerstalkers. So it's good that we finally actually became friends and we're able to work together in things. I look forward to working together with you even more in the future as well. So first thing I wanted to talk about with that trailer, another musical? We're getting another musical? We're getting,
Oh, yeah.
we're getting another mute. Oh my god! 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 I was so excited when I first saw it. So I saw the trailer sneak preview at PAX Australia about a month ago at a panel that you guys did to show it off, and I was very excited at the time. So let's talk about the musical, or what you can say about it anyway. Where did the idea come from? Just from the numbers on the previous musical, and went, well, we're going to do that again.
I mean, it was just so fun to like shoot the first musical. Like Bardic Inspiration is just like, you know, like a bucket list thing to shoot. Like it's so fun. Mm-hmm. It's so camp. The song is epic, and you know, we were just kind of like, yeah, we have to at least try to do this again. But I mean, of course, yeah, exactly. Of course, like we have, you know, like a huge, like I guess, bar to hit.
That's always the thing, though, isn't it? Like, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? You look at something that's done really well, and you go, well, we've got to do that again. But also, that's the expectation now, so we got to surpass that somehow, or at the very least meet it.
Yeah. So I thought, like, instead of like trying to do exactly the same thing, like let's do something that's kind of like adjacent, so we don't necessarily have to compare the two. I mean, I'm sure we'll get some comments being like, Bardic Inspiration.
Bardic Inspiration's better. You'll get a million comparison comments. And the funny thing is, like, it's always amused me, those sorts of comments, because you go, if you like, this isn't Bardic Inspiration. Yeah, go watch Bardic Inspiration. It's still there. Like, you can. It's not a theatre piece. It wasn't a one and done. It exists on the internet. If you want the exact thing, it exactly exists already. Go watch it.
I delete it, then upload it again in HD.
Delete it and upload it.
The Redux.
The
butthole cut.
The what cut?
What? No.
The dubstep remix. I can't.
Oh yeah, the dubstep remix.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
We get Skrillex involved. He's very, very retired at this point.
I want to see. I mean, get Dread involved and do some beatboxing for behind it as well.
He was going to start a beatboxing channel.
He was, yeah.
He was. We're going to hold him to that.
So the idea, obviously, there you go. We're going to do a musical for this next season. What is the next step in that? You go, we need lyrics. We need a plot. We need an idea. Which comes first?
Yeah. So I mean, I originally had the idea of like a bard off, or like a battle of the bards.
Right, yeah.
And people who've watched like the recent uploads to our channels, we did like a little kind of like sneak preview of who the new character is going to be, as like a little introduction thing. And people just really loved that character. So I don't think it's much of a spoiler to say that there's going to be a bit of a back and forth between this guy. And you have not heard, his name's Zephyr, played by Matthew Predney, and Matthew is just an amazing singer. He's got a beautiful voice. It's like he's a triple threat,
like,
you know.
There he is, right on the camera, right there. Boop. And so you're saying he's better than
is.
it's good to have an actual singer be able to do it this time?
It's so good having a real actor on set finally.
Like somebody who can actually sing. Because the musical was great, but like now we've got somebody who can actually like sing. So.
When we talked about the redux of Bardic Inspiration, we're just getting Matt to sing it instead.
It's just delete Bardic Inspiration, dub over Thomas. Don't even like try and cover it. Should make it super obvious.
Oh my god.
Well,
all right.
They did drop it on me. It's like, by the way, have you seen the other guy? He's like a full-time theater like extraordinaire, and I'm like, oh, okay,
step it up.
Me singing in the shower suddenly.
Hey, I've seen you sing karaoke, bro.
I got videos of that.
I thought it
Patreon.
Was like. I thought like just to give like Tom a run for his money, I thought like we'd get like this, you know, really good talented singer on board, so it would actually be like a challenge, and I think like both of them did.
Because
like
Thomas is so proficient at singing. That's what we were saying before. We were saying Thomas is such a good singer that
he's
got to meet him and his level.
He's got a good set of lungs, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Not much else. So we have jumped right into this before I even usually set up. So how I like to start my short rests is like setting up the short rest, because you know
I love that we've already
we're
derailed
D&D.
you as the
Yeah, I
GM.
mean that's how it is. I can't expect anything less. I am used to the Viva la Dirty guys, so don't worry about it. I'm used to getting us back on track from a million miles away. So I like to set up a short rest. So what mission are we in the middle of? If we're the adventuring party and we're out doing something, why do we need a short rest? Are we in like an urban environment? Are we in like a sci-fi environment? Are we in like are we underwater? Are we in a volcano? What do you guys think?
Ooh. I mean,
of
you
the
can't be
above.
under a volcano, can you?
Under a volcano?
Urban volcano.
An urban underwater volcano.
Yeah,
Alright.
it's like, is that a geyser?
So that works. So there's like a fire giant civilization that lives beneath a volcano in the hot steamy geysers and the waters that live beneath there. We're on a mission, obviously. It must be a high level adventuring party.
Oh no, it was severely out of.
We're like second level.
This is bad.
Like, how did we end up here?
Big rational
It's like D&D Dark Souls edition. we just took a wrong turn and the GM's like super sandbox or nothing, and so they're like, I'm putting no boundaries. You guys get to go into the fire giant civilization.
I just got action surge.
Yeah.
I've not even taken my subclass yet. So we found ourselves out of our depth in a fire giant volcano. What are we doing? Have we found like a pocket of air that's actually breathable and?
I think we're in a hot spring, right?
Hot spring, yeah, nice.
Yeah, but like a lava hot spring.
A lava hot spring.
We're just taking a short rest.
A searing hot spring. What are we eating on this short rest?
Probably some jerky.
It was fresh meat when we came in here, but it's been flash dried. Yeah. Just like you kill a pig and take off the leg, and as soon as you do, it's shriveling up in the heat, and you're like, well,
this has gone convenient to gross.
Jen, what are we drinking on this short rest?
Drinking? Oh gosh, probably an energy drink of some kind.
Energy drinks to
Bakari sweat.
Or coffee, morning brown.
Downing healing potions one after another to make up for all of the fire damage that we're taking on every single round. Caffeinated healing potions. Excellent. All right. So now that we're set up around our very restful short rest, I'm sure. I like to start with talking about like names. So let's start with Deerstalker Pictures. For anyone who's missed the previous short rest and whatnot, I'm not sure if I don't even remember if we covered it then. It's so long ago, I've slept since. Deerstalker Pictures, where did that name come from?
This is like a long time ago, like a decade ago.
Way back.
I mean, like we were just at the time thinking about doing like like the fun little like cosplay convention music videos that were like super popular back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we were thinking about getting into that, like right as they were kind of taking off. Yeah. That's how long we've known this guy for. How long he's been a thorn in our side. But yeah, we were just like looking for like a name to kind of call ourselves by, and like just a bunch of factors at the time just kind of all pointed to this, like to Deerstalker, because we were like, a lot of the other production companies, at least in Brisbane, had like some kind of animal name as like that. So it was like I don't know, something moose or something, sneaky zebra. Like we were just like so we need like an animal in there, and then like Sherlock was really popular at the time, and of course the hat from that. And then I think the final moment that kind of like really made us like choose the deer was because it was like the final year of uni. We were trying to do like our film for the year, and I wrote the script, and it was like kind of inspired by like Princess Mononoke. So it's like you've got the forest spirit that looks like a stag, and we were just like, how do we get like a deer in the film and film it? Like we didn't know how to do that. Like, of course, because we're students, we're like, yeah, anything's possible. We'll just figure it out.
Yeah. Just go find a deer.
Yeah, just go find a deer. And then we drove home from uni at like 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, and like I live across the road from a golf course, and driving down the highway just on the medium strip between the two roads was just close nearly. There were three deer, like a mummy, a daddy, and a little baby deer, just casually walking up.
A little rainbow.
And we all ate well that night.
Yeah, it was just like this surreal moment, like, because obviously they shouldn't have been there. As soon as we saw them and we're like, oh, we need it. Let's pull over. Let's put one in our boot.
Kill the baby.
As soon as we did that, they obviously ran away, and like they just ran across like a 4-way intersection, and like, you know, a car swerved to avoid them. It was just like this really like insane moment where like, all right, well, I guess that's what we're doing. That's what we're calling ourselves now.
I mean, yeah, makes
Deer
sense.
hitter.
Deer
swerver.
Deer swerver.
And then so you started out with the sort of cosplay stuff. That's how you met Forgeling, because he used to do cosplay, which explains his lack of acting talent.
Yep.
And then
There we go.
And then you met Fall's like, what? You can't just say that. She forgets that we've hung out a lot now. I'm a lot closer with Thomas these days than I used to be with, like, the first time we interviewed you.
In which you still gave me a lot of shit. So
you got to start as you mean to go on. Then you met, like, through the cosplay stuff, you also met Fall and Silent and Eva, because Eva does cosplay as well, right? And all that stuff, or no?
No.
Yeah, we know Eva from the cosplay community and also the Lolita J Fashion community. Right. So, you know, when we were trying to figure out like, I have an idea for a D&D show. It's like she was actually the person who kind of like ran our first one shot for us.
Right.
So she's kind of responsible for all of this mess. So if you're looking for someone to blame for One for All.
I know Thomas from when I was quite young in the cosplay community.
I don't think I like telling you. Don't say the story like that.
I was 5.
Well, you know.
He was 27.
I was 12.
Whoa.
No, I think I was like 14 when I started like fully cosplaying, like getting into it properly.
And that's how you met Thomas, and then through Thomas you met Elliott?
So no, I had some friends, and then they were cosplaying Lord of the Rings with you, Thomas. You were playing... who are you cosplaying?
Bard, of all things. Yeah, great.
Bard, yeah.
Bastard has a stupid name. Yeah.
It's been written in the stars from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. Long-haired, semi-bearded man. That's my role.
I think I was Spider-Man.
And you were Spider-Man?
Yes!
I don't remember Spider-Man from Lord of the Rings, but maybe I misunderstood the story. Okay.
Hey, if you saw him, he wasn't doing his job.
He was on the crew, not the cast.
Spider-Man was behind the
doing
camera.
all the rigging, obviously.
Every time there's a drone shot, it's actually just him.
And then Silent, how did you get involved? How did you get to meet them?
I think I knew of everyone from within the cosplay community, but I think I was only really close with Tom. And then I think it's all his fault. Basically, they had started filming One for All. I think they were like 3 episodes in the first season. And I think Tom basically was just being like, we need a makeup artist. Hire a makeup artist. I have a friend who's a makeup artist. And just poking people in the side until finally they were like, okay, fine. We'll bring someone on. And then I came on for Murder Hobo was my first episode. Where I got to just throw blood directly into Eva's eye, which was fun. Unintentional. So it was a good first impression.
I'm a professional makeup artist. Oops.
Yeah. Here you go. But yeah, so I think I came on and I helped obviously Fall with the Nixie makeup and did the blood and stuff. And I think I must have been helpful because they were like, cool, you're coming back for the rest of all time forever.
Yeah.
And then
I got Thomas to help me paint my back like once.
Oh yeah.
And then since then he's just like, no, I'm never doing this again. We need a makeup artist. Though to be fair, like it
I drew a penis.
penis on my back, and I'm like, I
Weaponized
can't.
incompetence.
Yeah, well, we were using just like brush paints, like just straight out, like which is like obviously.
I had to mix face paint with white foundation. That's how I would make my body. So I would be there, like everyone else would start like, be getting ready. Thomas didn't have to get ready because he takes 20 minutes to get into costume, and I'm there like mixing my paint so that I can start painting myself. But yeah, so we cut down like 3 hours of getting ready time for me down to like an hour and a half because of Jen, and it honestly it's made my life so much better.
Yeah, man, that's still such a long time though for just like before you could even shoot, just putting all of the color on.
I mean, people have gone through so much worse. I mean,
mainly Kendall.
Kendall's gone through.
Kendall's been through the ringer. Yeah, he's had every prosthetic known to man stuck to him.
Oh my god, and around him as well. Like he's been on stilts. He's been in stilettos. Like
corsets, contacts, teeth.
And that's why we got him involved.
Give me a
yeah, true.
Give me a rough ballpark figure. How many NPCs does he play this season?
This season?
Well,
oh my god!
Yeah,
that's a trick question because he plays a lot in the final episode. He plays way too many.
It's got to be 20. Double digits, easily.
We did not half-ass that episode. We full-assed it.
How many episodes are we looking at for season 5?
We're doing 6 again, so we just kind of settled on.
And he does like 20 NPCs over the 6 episodes.
Yeah,
that's the last episode.
Wow. Okay. Cool. I just got.
It's really fun though.
I'm just thinking of from my own experience with the Viva guys and doing the green screen stuff and how they're like, can we try and cut down on the number of NPCs that you're playing because of the time it takes for you to get in and out of costume? We need to get through the green screen in a day, so we need to actually have time to get through it all. And if we're playing 20 characters in a day, we're not going to get through.
Yeah, I mean, like, just because we wanted to, like, this was our first season where we got actually like Kickstarter backing. So season 4 and 5. Thank you to our generous Kickstarters who helped us reach that goal and helped us like go like all out, like plus ultra, just so ridiculous. So we spent all of that money and more just to make Kendall into as many people as possible.
Just all of the money just on it. That should have been just the Kickstarter goals of like after a certain amount of time you run out of stretch goals, so you just like, the next stretch goal is I'll add another NPC for him. And the next stretch goal is I'll add another one.
That gets a hat. I don't know.
I get the hat, thank you.
Every goal after a certain amount is just more NPCs for Kendall, but like exponentially more as well.
Yep.
All right, cool. So we get about 6 episodes to look forward to. Does that? So one thing I've noticed different about the way you're doing things now is that you've also got those like shorts and standalones that you've been putting out. Are those aren't included in the 6? So you've got the 6 main body episodes, and then you've got all these ideas for these other things that you've been putting out. You got more of those shorts and standalones as well, or were they to be like to tie people over between 4 and 5?
That was because we kind of knew with our Kickstarter like deliverables that we were a little overdue for that, so we're just kind of like COVID, all that stuff. But we're just like we're waiting on post-production, like we got like a song and like music and VFX and all of that stuff to kind of wait on. So we were just like, let's just do like some little like bite-size just standalone mini episodes to kind of tide people over. Right. And also just introduce or reintroduce some of the characters that are going to be returning. Because obviously since like, season 1, season 2, all that stuff, we've grown a little bit. So we've got a lot of new followers who maybe aren't familiar with the returning characters.
Early stuff. Yeah, if they haven't gone back and binged every episode so far. Because that's another thing you got to take into account is that like after a while you've got enough of a body of work that there are people who aren't going to go and watch it all because it's so much and people aren't going to see them in order and things.
33 main episodes out. God.
What's the sort of duration are we looking at for the episodes of season 5?
So they're all about like 6 to 7 minutes long. Yeah.
Longer now as well.
That's a hefty episode.
I was going to say, is that seems longer than previous seasons? Is it?
Yes, it is. It is a little bit longer. I mean, every single time we're just like, we just want to tell longer stories. You know, it's really hard to.
We're just slowly by season 72, we're up to like hour-long episodes, and you've just snuck in there with it. You just tricked people into watching long content.
We're actually trying to stretch people's attention.
Yeah,
train
people's attention spans back out
to,
again,
like,
teasing it back
stretch
out.
it back out again.
But I'm wondering whether or not there was is also because of the location why it's like there's just more to show of like the surrounding area as well as the actors in this season. I wasn't there, so I don't know exactly.
Oh,
but,
it was the best experience ever.
We had a great time.
Genuinely though, it was.
I think we all bonded a lot.
I'm so sad.
I did want to talk to you about the locations at some point. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt if you had more to say about that.
Oh no, just gonna bully someone.
Just bully.
Yeah, just bully me.
It's probably a good idea to cut it off.
Bully me to get COVID, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to talk because there's some incredible locations in the trailer alone. What is that something you've been able to do because of the funding, the excess funding, or because you've spent more time filming now and so you've had more time to actually just do location scouting?
So that was all just thanks to the funding from Kickstarter and from Screen Australia, again, who helped us just like logistically travel interstate to a place in Victoria called Cryal Castle, which is kind of like like a castle from, is it the 80s or something? That's just been like it was. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Tom would probably know more about this. Well, like, we kind of thought it was going to be like is it a medieval times, like the kind of theme parks from America, like but it was a little bit more authentic than that in some ways.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't like in the middle of a city or anything.
It felt less like a Disney castle, like plastic, and like it genuinely felt like it was an actual castle.
Even though it was just really recent. But like it just had so many like really awesome locations. And like, you know, basically anywhere you look in a 360 angle, it's all like camera safe. So, you know, it just kind of let us do a whole bunch of stuff. And like I'm sure like from the trailer, like we got to use their horses for a bit of a joust as well. So they just had
that was
so much stuff
same location. There. All of the joust and stuff was all in the same.
Yeah, all the same spot. So
how many of the episodes did you manage to get out of that one location?
I think we shot 4. However, we could have easily shot a lot more.
We changed because of like issues with like sicknesses and stuff, rather than it being because we couldn't shoot them.
Right.
Yeah. We were there for I think a week in total.
10 days, yeah.
Yeah,
it's trapped here for years.
True.
That actually brings me on to something else I wanted to ask about, like your scheduling and your timeline sort of thing. How long in pre-production, how long in shooting, and how long in post usually for your seasons? Like, so you said you were there shooting for a week to get the 4 episodes that you had at the castle. But how long in prep for that? How much time does it take to actually come up with the ideas and write it and do all of the pre-production, the location scouting, everything?
Yeah, I mean, I think we did the Kickstarter, was it back in October last year? And I think I just seriously started writing these episodes right as we were beginning that Kickstarter. So by the time the Kickstarter was over, I had, you know, all of the scripts in like a first draft kind of space. And we did also season 4 between the Kickstarter and this, obviously. So there was like a good 6 months that we were just kind of like, I mean, it was a pretty rough time trying to do like basically 2 seasons back to back, because like, you know, we are in post-production for season 4 while we're also like trying to do pre-production on season 5.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just a kind of like a small crew behind the scenes at Deerstalker. So, you know, a lot of us are just kind of like burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I recently talked about burning the candle with a blowtorch.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. For...
I often talk about my work schedule is like burning the candle at both ends and then breaking it in the middle so that you can burn it there as well.
Yeah.
expose that wick further down the candle. There we go.
Just in the fire.
Just throw the candle in the fire. That's
we've got Nixie casting fireball on our candle.
On our candle, yeah.
So it's like how long is a piece of string really, like in terms of pre-production? Because months, years of ideas percolating, sitting on scripts, waiting for the right time to shoot them. How did you decide which of your scripts you'd do in season 5 though? Because you were doing 2 seasons back to back. You must have had a bunch of ideas, and did you put a lot of thought into like, oh, these kind of thematically go together as a season?
Yeah, that was always the consideration. Just like, you know, do these episodes work together? And I was really keen to do some of the season 5 episodes in season 4, but just because of like locations, you know, we knew that we were going to go down to Cryle Castle, so I knew like this is going to be like a really big opportunity to shoot, like, you know, huge landscapes, huge like castle environments. So I wanted to save those episodes for then. But then for season 4, it's like we ended up doing a lot of it in a studio, based on like, you know, we had a set and we're going to turn the set around 3 times and shoot like, you know, different variations of rock formation.
Gotta get the most out of every set.
No one will notice because we'll just put like a different color lighting on it.
Yeah. I remember the location scouting stuff that we were doing for D&D Logic, and we were like, we've got no castles in New Zealand and barely any like caves or anything exciting, because there's like a sliding scale of like, if it's a really visually exciting cave, it's terrible for sound. And so if it's good for sound, then it's really not visually exciting because it's blank walls. And so we were finding like, oh, where can we sort of find that compromise between the visuals and the sound. And we were doing a bunch of location scouting, and we'd find like a corner here and there have been like, oh, this is this old abandoned war memorial-y type thing that used to be like a base in the Second World War. You're like, oh, it's concrete, kind of a dungeon looking thing. Could be your jail cell, I guess, if we turn your head and squint and only shoot it from this angle. But nothing that's like 360 safe.
And then you do the reverses in a completely different space.
Completely different space. And then ADR most of the lines.
Was there a reason why you guys didn't want to do ADR, like over the top, if it was bad for sound?
There was one in particular that was perfect for my finale episode. That was like a perfectly circular dungeon with pillars in it and everything. It was pretty much like they'd taken the memory of what I had in my head when I was writing it and just made it a location, and I was like, this is it. But because it was perfectly circular walls, it amplified all of the sound to the exact. It was like the worst echo possible. So we would have had to have ADR the entire script, every bit of it, and you can't do that without it being obvious and looking crap. Like it's well, you can, but it takes a lot of work in post. It would have been much more costly to do that because of the extra work that it gives you in post to have to ADR everything. If you have to ADR one character because they've got really difficult prosthetics in their mouth and it's really difficult to talk or whatever, then you can kind of get away with it.
Because you can't see the mouths move that much. That's how it works.
Mouth flaps, just like rhubarb.
Yeah, but if you have everyone in all the different levels of makeup and costume and everything all having to be ADR'd, some of them will be like really emoting, and it's never going to work, unfortunately.
Yeah, we luckily haven't had to ADR an entire episode yet, but definitely have like bits and pieces.
The odd line,
there's always like lines that we add in here and there.
Yeah, makes sense. I have I'm aware that I've had a lot of Elliott talking, and I want to make sure that the other people feel like they are talking as well. So from the sort of makeup and costume perspective, because I know you guys all have experience with makeup and costume, it's one of those all hands on deck sort of situations where everybody kind of chips in. You don't have a massive production crew that all have their own unit and their own department, so everybody helps out. So what in that respect, what is the process of deciding who does what for helping out with costume and makeup and things? Because you've all got experience with making costumes and cosplay and stuff. Forgeling does a lot of leather work. I know that you guys obviously are cosplayers as well. When it comes to, we need costumes for this next season, how does it get divvied up?
Mostly, I think Eva kind of looks after costuming mostly.
She just takes all of it and says, "I'll handle it all."
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, like originally we all made our first season we made all our own costumes.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure Thomas and I made ours like in the last couple of days leading up to filming as well.
Don't know why you're saying it like that. I don't know why you think it'll change.
Like as a filmmaker, you're just kind of like Goldie and I are on set, just being like, "Yeah, I hope they come with a costume.
I hope they have costume."
We spent a lot of money to be here today, so it'd be nice if we could shoot something.
So we first season we all made our own costumes, and then because we only made them to last a couple of episodes because we didn't think that we were going to be filming for years.
Still got my season 1.
Yeah, I mean, I still have her laying around somewhere too, but it's just
not the best condition. But...
yeah, not in a great condition. They started falling apart. Like we would have to fix elements right before filming or during filming, because we didn't make them. I mean, I didn't make it to last. I made it like I make my cosplays. We're on an event at an event, and then it falls apart. You remake it, and then you go to another event. But then it got to a point where it was like, hey, no, obviously this is going to be a lot longer lasting, and so I passed my costume off to Eva to redo and remake for each seasons because she actually has a degree, or she actually studied costume making. So I was like, I feel pretty safe just handing it to you, and we'll collaborate on what it looks like and all that sort of stuff. So most of the costumes are looked after by her, but I'm pretty sure you made your own costume, Jen.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I did Lutheran, but that was also partially because obviously, hearing that Eva makes the costumes. When we say that, that means the extras, the main cast, the everything.
Yeah.
So she has a very, very big workload every season in pre-production. So when we can hand off certain elements to other people. That's usually what we do, and pre-production for makeup isn't nearly as extensive as for costume, so I usually only need about a week, maybe more if I'm making my own prosthetic from scratch, but most of the time I just need to source that stuff and that's it. All my stuff happens on the day, so I have time ahead of time. So when Elliott came to me asking me to do Lutheran, I designed and made that one myself because I've been doing it for years, and it was just easier on Eva to not have to have a full cleric build to have to do. Plus I had ideas because I really wanted to do web fingers for Lutheran. So I really wanted to be involved in that because I wanted the to make gloves for her and stuff, which ended up coming out quite good. I was happy with them.
Did you regret that decision later on, once it removes your manual dexterity on set, or no?
It's actually not too bad. I mean, I can't use my phone, but like with any gloves, but otherwise, it has because the fabric is stretchy, so I can just have full range of movement. I can't grab anything like a bottle because the flap there gets in the way.
But it's really good for holding twisties.
Yeah, really good for face masks.
You're the unit table.
Cheese dust in there.
Into the juice box and walk around, offering them out.
Yeah, here you were. Yeah. I love having the dust on my gloves that will never come off.
Take just the gloves to the dry cleaners every after every shoot.
Oh, cheese dust, Jen. That's what just doesn't even use the chips. It's just the dust.
No. And I think outside of that though, I usually when I come on for helping costume, I usually just do armor stuff because I've got some experience with foam work. So I did the armor for the Paladin in season, was that 3 or 4? 3? 4? 3. It was 3.
3.
Yeah. I did the armor,
5.
which was actually a remake of my armor I made for an ad we did for AFK Arena.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
I made a full Lucretia build for that trailer, and then we took that armor and we repainted it and made it for the Paladin, which is what happens with a lot of our stuff on the show. We make it once,
repaint, repurpose, makes sense.
Yeah, that one.
And I think it's going to make an appearance in this season as well, actually, that breastplate.
Yeah, it is. And also, Zephyr's costume is actually repurposed from the bard from that same AFK Arena. Lots of stuff just kind of gets reused.
Yep.
And
then something further down the line comes up, and you're like, "Oh, an Easter egg! We should have that character from season 2 show up." And you're like, "We don't have that costume anymore. It's in 7 different places." Antreus is wearing half of it, and
don't know why.
He's not meant to be.
Even his costume.
He's just an even one for all.
But also not to take away from the fact that also Thomas has made because Antreus has a bunch of leather elements as well, and Thomas has made those.
Andreas has made
and also
them,
your coats. Some seasons you've made your coat as well.
Yeah, 4 out of 5 are mine. Which is,
I thought you were rating her description of what you do.
It's 4 out of 5 description of what I do.
You got 4 out of 5 right. You got 4 out of 5 right. One of them you got completely
It's a Yelp review.
80%.
Yeah, which is a credit.
I think that's a distinction, actually.
Oh, it's a distinction.
Very distinguished.
I was having this discussion recently about how how easy it is over in Australia. Apparently, how easy it is to get an A+. I was talking about the ranges of what an A+. To get an A+, you need a 90% New Zealand.
Sorry to tangent, but I thought I was always told that high distinction was 95% and up, and I think that's what we enforced in the school that I went to. So when you got a high distinction, it was like you earned it. Wow. And then I hear later that it's it's 90 or 80 or something like that. I'm like,
85.
Hold on, it's 85.
85.
I just finished uni. It's 85.
I thought I was.
I had to get 90% or above to get an A+ when I was at uni. I was an A- student. I was around the 80 to 85% student.
Wow.
Yeah, easier in Australia apparently. According to all the Australians I've been talking to. But that's neither here nor there. We were talking about costume and makeup. I just wanted to brag about how difficult it was for me. When I got my maths degree.
Hard life.
So
right next to your silver play button.
Oh yeah, the silver play button. I don't tend to point out the silver play button there.
I
like how it's slightly higher than your degree.
It's more
that's one of the priorities.
It's funny, it's not even my silver play button. This one's actually for the this one's for the Viva La Dirtly D&D channel, and this one's a homemade one that some fans made me. Some
so cute though. They're like, oh, you'll never get one. We'll make you one.
Exactly. They were like, now that Viva have got a studio, they're probably going to want this back. they're probably going to want to actually put it up behind them in the studio.
What do you mean you don't have it? No one has it. What do you?
So a couple of my mods made me one that says. Presented to Robert Hartley GM for passing 6,900 subscribers.
Nice.
69. Yep.
It's made out of old tin cans.
So do you still do the leatherwork stuff for costuming, Forge, or not?
Not really. I guess I kind of had the same amount of involvement with costume as Jen would have.
Right.
I think.
Just from a logistical standpoint, because Eva is up here, we got her to do probably 95% of the costumes, either making or sourcing. So she's kind of overseeing it all.
I was gonna say because there's some costumes that she won't be making. Obviously, there's helmets and metalwork stuff. There's armor and things.
Yeah,
they make the helmets.
Sometimes, yeah. But other times it's easier to just if it's only going to be in it for one scene.
Yeah,
it's just easier to kind of source it, rent it. Yeah. But just because of logistics, Tom does not live in Sydney, so it was easier for him to
make my own shit.
Yeah.
I say shit, but I do quite like. Yeah.
I like the season 5 look.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Are you the only one, Tom, that lives outside and has to travel when you're for shooting, or is everybody else kind of meet up as well?
Yes, I'm the problem
Not for
child.
long.
Yeah, the problem.
No, but not. Yeah.
Wait, where are you going, Jen?
Oh, yeah, not for long. I'm going to Germany.
This is how I just leave.
This is how you announce it. Yeah.
Yeah, back to Canada. Let's go.
No, I'll be moving back to New South Wales very shortly.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't. This is fairly new news.
No one.
No one knows.
Oh yeah, just the 136 people watching.
Well, they don't know my address. So.
But if you want to.
Neither do you.
But yeah. Oh yeah, no, Rob does know it. No, but I'll be going back up, and so I don't know if that's going to be. I can start being a maker again, or if that's just like it's just a proximity thing. I don't know. I'm not really answering any question. I'm not even sure there was a question. I'll be
Just rambling. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll edit that out later. So we were roughly talking about like how long things were taking. So we got to like costume, makeup, that sort of stuff. How long when you get to a set and you're like you've got all of your pre-production done, you're actually into the production side of things. You mentioned Fall that it takes like an hour and a half to get into Nixie.
Yeah, if we're being hounded by Vinny, yes, it's about an hour and a half.
How long till? Yeah.
Yeah, because it'll be like, so do you think you can get done in like 30 minutes? And we're just starting to apply like the pink, and it's like,
Oh, I've had many conversations with Vinny about the way that he needs to tell me when he needs stuff done by, because he's been like, I need them ready by this time. And I'm like, cool. Well, Vinny, we've just started makeup and there's still costume. He's like, oh yeah, costume as well. I forgot to account for that in the schedule.
Yeah, because we have like a whiteboard when we get ready. That's just like, okay, so this person needs to be in makeup by this time. And then this person needs to be in costume by this time and ready for set by this time. So we have like, that's kind of a schedule. Which is good, which has been really, really helpful. That's
we throw that out like within the first hour.
Immediately, yeah.
Well, look, you know,
it was a good addition.
There's always going to be something that happens that like makes things a little bit more difficult. Like, you know, like there was one time in an episode that we actually shot for season 5, where my contacts just would not go in.
Oh yeah, that was rough.
That was so rough. Like that was a really bad filming day, like initially for me. Because anytime that I'd put them in, like I would feel super nauseous. Like there was one point where like my back was to camera and I had Tom here and I had Jen here. So this was actually our episode. And
enough to make anyone want to throw up, yes.
But there was like
we were pretty gross.
Yeah, we were.
Like off to the side, and there was a point where like I couldn't keep my eyes open because the contacts were so bad. And I was like, okay, so there's a bush right there. If I throw up into it, is that camera safe? Like, is that gonna ruin the shot?
You can get
oh my god.
Yeah. I think that's when I was like, we're taking them out.
Instantly lifted.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is when you go, wild magic surge, and irises look different now. Deal with it.
I mean,
the episode.
What?
Yeah.
Is that the solution?
Alert, maybe.
Right, I'm a dungeon master, and I'm a filmmaker. I'm a writer. I know these things. I'm like, I need a thing to happen for logistical reasons. I'll make it into the story. Oh, wild magic, eyes are different.
It was actually the best episode for that to happen on, honestly.
It was.
That was the one. You see in the trailer that Nixie's blue.
I was about to bring up the fact that she's got blue skin in one thing, and she's also got a beard of feathers at some point.
I love my feather beard. It was so fun to make.
The thing is, because the mouth hole was so small, like I had to just be like,
Although on the back of asking about, I guess, our getting ready and stuff, like AD's in for D&D Logic.
Oh yeah.
What?
Oh boy. Thankfully I didn't have to be involved with that because Jesus, there were a lot of costumes and prosthetics and things. Yeah, we had to put Emmett Skilton in his Goliath makeup, full bald cap. Bald caps aren't easy.
Nope.
So bald cap and all of the makeup on it with his tattoos and stuff, his Goliath tattoos, and put him in like big old boots and stuff, and all of his skin down every arm, all of its exposed chest and everything, all had to be greyed out. And then Adam in all of his blue makeup and his horns and everything, his tiefling stuff.
And you're like, I'm gonna get an armor.
Yeah, I was. That's why I wrote myself as human fighter. I was like, I'm wearing armor. I'm not getting in costume or makeup. And then I regretted it immediately because that armor, although looking good, is very uncomfortable. So I definitely regretted that after 3 days. Yeah, there was a lot of timing issues about like making sure this person was in costume and makeup by this point and this point and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so wild the difference between like when you're cosplaying and like what you can deal with comfort-wise when you're cosplaying and then what you can deal comfort-wise when you're acting.
Yeah.
It's actually different. Like, because I think with acting as well, because you're like a lot of the time, I think you don't not a lot of people who are in acting know this, but a lot of time you're just waiting around, waiting for your scene.
Hurry up and wait.
Hurrying up and then waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting for your scene or waiting for like lights to change around, cameras to change around, like all that sort of stuff. And it really gets to you when things are uncomfortable. Like it feels like you're just like, because when you're going to an event or doing a photo shoot, you're meeting people, you're walking around, it's like a constant flow of things. But when you're filming, if there are things that are uncomfortable, it gets a bit much.
Yeah,
the heat is the biggest one.
When
as soon as it's hot, everyone's like.
When you put something on, put something on and you're like, yeah, this is fine, and then like after an hour you're like, oh, it kind of twinges a little bit here, or it kind of rubs a little bit, or it's resting on this part of my hip or whatever, and you're like, it's fine though. And then it's fine after 3 days of shooting. You're like, I've never been in more pain.
Yeah, we have a scale for Kendall for when he's in a really extensive makeup and costume situation. We're like, okay, we have a scale of 1 to 10. Tell us where you're at, Kendall. He's like, yeah, sure, no worries.
10 is hospital.
We figured out pretty early on that we have to add 2 or 3 to whatever number he gives us. Saying, yeah. So he's like, oh, I'm a 5. We're like, oh crap, okay, hurry up, finish shooting this thing, get him in the chest, like, because he never tells us properly because he's such a trooper with everything. And there are some builds that are just like, you can't get away from the fact that, like, say the Ara Crocker from season 4, it's just you're blind, you're in a corset, you're in heels, it's a lot. And
I mean, it looks amazing though.
Yeah,
like such a cool costume.
Suck it up, Buttercup. It looks good.
Yeah, he looks amazing. But yeah, we always want to take into account how they're feeling in the actual costume itself, because everybody else is kind of used to their costumes, but Kendall gets a new costume every single episode. Yeah. So it's like going through the ringer every single time. But he always handles it so well, and you can never tell on screen because he's always like. Just like he gets through it really, really well. So
I kept telling myself, like, when the armor was hurting for D&D Logic, I was like, the pain's temporary. The pain's temporary, but the episodes will last forever.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look good in this armor.
The fans watching it, they don't know that you're in pain. They don't really even care that you're in pain. They just see the finished product, and if you're just there like, oh, like
one of the episodes, one of the episodes was long rest, and it was like taking the piss out of how the next morning everything's healed fully, and I was like, I'm going to be in the background putting my armor on. I'm not going to be in armor for the next morning scene. Like when we cut to the morning and the Goliath's all like, oh, I'm all healed again. I'm just going to be in the background and the cleric's going to be putting my breastplate on me, so I didn't have to weave it. So I just found excuses to just be like, don't put it on. I genuinely thought about, like, man, if I'm playing the same character in season 2, I'm gonna have to come up with some skit about the humor behind, like, a fighter finding that he has to wear leather armor for some reason, because I'm like, I need to write a skit specifically just so that I can only wear leather armor.
Did you say season 2?
I might have. We did a writer's room for season 2. We decided instead of me writing all of them, and so we have written the scripts for season 2, but we've been sitting on them for a while now because they're doing studio stuff. The Viva guys did the Kickstarter, was successful in getting enough money to buy a studio. They've bought it out in West Auckland, and now they're renovating it.
Oh,
I know, right?
Wow. Wow.
We're in. I mean, you got to go with the real estate is, man.
Yeah.
You got to go where you can afford. So we bought a studio, and it's out in Auckland, and we're renovating it. It's got they're working on the board set. They're working on the D&D tavern set, all that sort of stuff. We're hopeful that we won't have to be hiring out the D&D space anymore, because there's just a heck of a lot of extra, like, overheads and stuff to hire another space when you've already got your own studio sitting there waiting. So we're trying to find the time and the resources to make sure that they can renovate that quickly, so that we can actually get shooting in that space soon. And as soon as we've got that, as soon as we've got the tavern set and the the fake caves and dungeons and stuff that we want to make, so that we can actually have somewhere to shoot for those sorts of scenes in season 2. Then we can start shooting it.
Yay!
So a while away yet, but it's in the works. We've got the scripts. Pretty much sitting there waiting.
Make your plate armor out of leather, by the way.
Yeah.
Hot tip. Not even kidding.
I genuinely think that's one of the things we should do. Yeah.
You don't actually have to wear it. Like it just
exactly
activates.
right.
Like a mage armor type.
Exactly. That's the skit. We found it. I'll write something about like finding magical wild magic surge. The human fighter has a wild magic surge and no longer needs to wear armor.
Get like an amulet or like something.
Yeah,
and then you get your magical girl transformation into like magical armor.
Yeah, it's just in like
go find a talking
medallion.
Just subclass into barbarian and then be like, it's fine. When I get hit, I get mad, so it's good now.
Yeah, I gotta do a skit taking the piss out of the Tasha's Cauldron magic items that are like tattoos that can give you armor or something, barrier armor.
Oh yeah.
Look, I've got a tattoo that's
not that one.
Oh no.
That one I just thought looked cool. It's chicken noodle soup in Mandarin land.
All right, so
live, laugh.
So we're talking about how long it takes getting in costume and stuff. Then once you're all in costume, you're ready to actually start shooting. How long does an episode take? Are you shooting several episodes at once, or are you focusing just on one episode?
Yeah, just because it's all like location based, we're gonna do like basically aim for one a day.
Yeah.
And I think just for season 5 we had some pretty long days, like unexpectedly long. And that's just because I mean, like the day before the shoot, we actually had 2 crew members come down with COVID, and they could no longer be on set, and one of them was Jen!
Hey! It's very selfish of you, Jen. Why did you do that?
Yeah, that was a real stressful time. I called Vinny in tears, being like, I don't know what to do, Vinny. I have COVID. I can't come. And he's like, okay, cool, great. So I will throw a massive props to my assistant makeup artist, Lorelei, who had to go from being not on the show at all to being the full-time makeup artist for most of season 5. I was on the phone with her.
Drop her other commitments?
Yeah, no, she was on for being my assistant, and she was like, yeah, I'm excited to help you out. And then I called her up being like, listen, you might have
got
to
a promotion.
Yeah, you are now the head makeup artist. But I literally made a 10-page document going step by step on each makeup look so that she wouldn't have to figure it out.
Yep.
And
while you had a fever.
I was going to say you were doing that document while you were.
While I had COVID. It was just before I was actually bedridden for 3 days. So I managed to get it done, and then I was stuck in bed. But yeah, I had like a 2-hour conversation with her about what to do, saying she could call me whenever. She was obviously she got frazzled because she was like, that's a lot of responsibility, but she stepped up to the plate. And as far as I've heard, she did a really good job of making things happen, even though she she was trial by fire. We just threw her in the deep end. So the 4 episodes of Kryl were done by her, and then I did 2 of the episodes back here in Sydney, which is obviously the one I'm in, and there's a second one that I did the prosthetics and makeup for. So but yeah, I wasn't able to go to Kryl, which was very stressful for everyone involved.
At least for you, you did find out that you had COVID before you got on the plane, because our poor BCam operator only found out when he arrived at the castle and did his rat before he was allowed to come on set, and it just came back positive. So he had to spend 7 days isolating in a strange hotel room at the castle, and we had to feed him chicken nuggies underneath the door.
Yeah.
We had to step on them to flatten them out so we could pass them underneath.
Fit them underneath, yeah.
We didn't have to. The dog app was fine. I just wanted.
There was actually a window, but
he had a post box.
He just likes the taste of shoe, actually.
He did that little hand thing underneath the door.
He said, "Can you step on me?" I think
that does sound like him.
And he asked me to spit on his nuggets, and I got to.
Probably
why I got sick.
How the set worked.
So you aim for one a day, and then you got like time scheduled to pickups at the end. Like if you've run out of time for things, or have you just like if we ain't got time for it, I cut it out.
Yeah, we do end up cutting a lot of shots on the day, and a lot of beats, which is always a shame. But we do like get to do pickups at the end, like in like green screen stuff. So it's usually like I'll try to get like the wide shots of everything at the very least, because I think it's way easier to comp like a person into a close up than into a full on like CGI background. Yeah.
You're still gonna get the comments though, eh? when you did it with Fall recently, and they were like, there were comments being like, "Why are you green screening her in? Because you know how long it takes to get her into costume."
Yeah,
for like 2 shots.
And the day that you guys actually filmed Mogdar's video, like I was the maiden in the Bardoff short as well. So
right, yeah.
I wasn't even at Nixie on set that day. Like I was completely different. So it just didn't make sense to like put me into Nixie makeup again.
Here, have an hour and a half and all of the time and money and resources.
Drama.
Yeah, no thanks.
For like 2 lines.
Not that much. Like it's like we've cut it down, but it's still a long process, and it's also a huge process to get out of the makeup too, because like it's not like I can jump in the shower and I'm done. Like it's like I have to like scrub that makeup off and take all the glue.
Have you thought about doing winter episodes and putting Nixie in full costume up to here?
That's what trial was.
Right.
How do you know all this, Rob?
Because I'm telling you, I know how the industry works. ways to cut things down, reduce.
Yeah, you can see from season 1 to season 5 how very slowly we're covering Nixie up more and more.
Yeah, because your costume in like season 1 was like.
Like this part, like seems to always have to
it's
stay,
just
like,
just the boob window.
You gotta know how things sell. You gotta know what
The main thing was making sure we didn't have to paint our hands anymore, because that was the worst. Because hands are just like, because she can't touch anything, and also it just like. I mean, Pink's pretty forgiving with like transfer because it's very close, but like the hands being painted was like every time we had a scene where she had to grab someone, I'd always be like, oh, we gotta fix the hands now, and make sure there's some pink on somebody else as well. So
also, she just wildly gestures, so when she's in the chair and Jen's trying to do it, she's like, oh, well, come on, guys, we're on it.
Yeah, she's known for
Eliott,
swerving.
like, what do you want from me?
How easy would it be to get some sort of like stretchy skin, like you get those those arm socks?
We actually did make those.
We
did, yeah.
They didn't. They're just like, I don't know. I find them a bit uncomfortable, and like I don't know. We did try
like
it
a
for a little
skin
bit,
tight suit that you could be wearing instead.
Yeah, they're good for stills, but for acting they're a bit constricting. I think.
Yeah, you could probably be able to see them like wrinkling and things as you move, I guess.
Yeah, because the other thing that people kind of forget that that Fall has to deal with is that it's like it's a whole ordeal. Body paint plus wig plus sclera lenses plus a full costume. It starts feeling very constricting in like what you can actually do. Plus horns and the fangs as well. It's like the more you have covered.
I can't actually close my mouth properly due to
the tail as well. Like
when the tail.
I reckon.
Oh my God,
tail.
I got an idea.
I can't even go to the bathroom properly half the time, because when the people pin in my tail, sometimes they'll grab like my top and my underwear when they pin it in. And so I'll be trying to go to the bathroom and
you can't get out.
So I'm like, no.
This is why pajamas had the butt flap.
Yeah, we need a butt
have
flap.
one of them right under the tail.
I think we talked about that actually.
With like a shiwi, like
a shiwi,
like a shiwi. Do we have enough budget for a shiwi next season?
Maybe in Pat Purse's homebrew world, tieflings all have penises.
Perfect. That's
I solved it for you.
Or
here's an idea as well: go back to before season 1 and don't play a tiefling. Why did you think that would be an okay thing to do?
You should have been in the room when I was trying to suggest an all tiefling party episode.
All tieflings, yeah.
I just want it so that I can be like, see, welcome.
Yeah, everyone should experience tiefling every once in a while.
When they'll do that, I'm like, oh, can I be a tiefling? They're like, no, shut up, you're a human. I'm like, oh.
Human bard. You'll like it.
Human bard, man.
Can I at least get like pointed ears or something? No, nothing.
No.
Can I be like a ranger or something? No, you're a bard. Shut up. Sing, boy.
Sing for us. Dance for me, monkey.
I mean, can you imagine Antris as a ranger? What the hell would that show be?
I can't imagine Thomas in any role. He's not very...
not very horrible. Just can't see much screen. It's kind of embarrassing.
Not a lot of range. In his singing as well. Not a lot of range.
Yeah, he's got like 3 semitones. That's it.
And they're not like consecutive ones. They're just like 3 random semitones in throughout the range of octaves. All right, so then we get through the shooting period, and how long in once you wrap, you're like, right, let's post-production. How long are we looking between finishing shooting and actually being able to put it out? Do you ever do pickups like during post-production? You're like, shit, we didn't get this. We need another scene.
Yeah, so we did 2 days, 1 day worth of pickups in a studio, just to get all those like little green screen insert shots, just to like make the cut better. But I think that happened a couple of months after. What month did we shoot? Do you guys remember?
March.
March. Yeah, so March to November. Wow. Is how long post-production took. But I think we were also just my timeline's all over the place because, like, you know, 2022 is all a blur.
Yeah,
I think we released...
the other day, genuinely, somebody said something about 2018, and my brain... What's that?
It was May.
Yeah.
The voice of God says it was May.
It was May, apparently.
Yes,
the other day, somebody said something about 2018, and my brain went, that was 2 years ago. Like, I just, like, had in mind 2 years ago. And it was deeper into the conversation where something didn't add up, and I was like, but that doesn't make sense, because... Oh, that's right. It's not 2020. It's not just a very, very long 2020. It's a completely different year now.
It's 2020 part 2.
It's almost 2023. Oh.
The world blends together throughout the 20s. So a long period. It takes from that till November. And when did you know, like, when you were shooting, like, when you needed season 5 to be out, like, you needed November as the deadline, or did you were like, when we're ready, we'll put it out?
Yeah, I mean, it was very much like we needed it out like ASAP, just to kind of like because we had like the obligations for the Kickstarter, like, you know, obviously Kickstarter reward timeline is never accurate, and as much as we tried really hard to be the outlier in that, unfortunately there's always extraneous issues that you have to deal with, and I think we really wanted it out by the end of the year so that we could just, you know, start 2023 like fresh, whatever that means. Just, you know, close some tabs in our brain.
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's a good deadline to be like, get it out before the end of the year, but like November rather than December, so that you've got December to like do the stuff that comes from it, like keeping tabs on how they're doing and tracking them and things.
And it's definitely not
every week.
It's definitely not the Christmas ad revenue that has anything to do with this.
Of course not. And then I suppose into the future, like what happens after this? What's the timeline of things after post production and into pre-production for next stuff? What's Deerstalker's plans? Is there going to be a season 6, 7, 8, 9, 10?
I mean, it's always like 6 seasons and a movie. Is always the plan. We'll see if we get there. I just want to see how season 5 performs. Like, you know, if people are still watching it, like I think it's really cool. My mum thinks it's really cool too. I think it's neat. Like if people are still watching it, then we'll obviously keep making it. It is obviously a very expensive and time-consuming show to make, so it's really going to be up to the fans to, like, if they want to see more. And obviously, like, we want to keep making it. We want to take it to the next level. Like, you know, we're always talking about, like, where can we elevate this to? Like, we're going to approach, you know, Netflix. We're going to approach all the streaming services, see if they want a piece of it.
Yeah, want a piece of the pie?
The Australian funding that you get, have they said, like, we'll keep going with this if you keep performing with it? Like, if the numbers still go? Or did they say in the last one, like, we're moving on to other things, or?
So it's like kind of a miracle that we got it in the first place. Because it's like we are kind of like untested, I guess. Like, I mean, they saw how the show was performing at the start, and they did take a big risk on us to fund season 3 at that stage. And it's very rare for them to even come back and fund the same thing twice. So it's like a miracle on a miracle. So unless we kind of change up the format of it,
it is
long form hint. They probably wouldn't come back and fund the same thing again.
That's a lot how creative funding works in governments all over the place. I've found, and I've experienced in the UK and New Zealand with it, is like they're always looking for something new. Always want to be showing that they're innovating and supporting innovative new things rather than like supporting things that are established and just need extra funding to get even better.
Yeah, and like give somebody else a chance, of course.
Yeah, it can be frustrating, but it's also, as you say, it gives other people a little bit of a leg up.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we'll see how it goes. We have some avenues that we want to explore. But in the meantime, we are just kind of gonna do something else in between whatever comes next. So we are actually next week we're gonna shoot some Elden Ring skits.
Oh, nice.
Because Elden Ring is very popular at the moment. Not 6 months ago.
Definitely jumping on that bandwagon. It's a very, very long bandwagon. So it did pass by, but it's still passing. It's like a freight train.
But yeah, just because Jen and also Baldy, our cinematographer and producer, made some really awesome Elden Ring costumes recently for PAX. We're just kind of like, I mean, let's just do something for fun. Let's it'll be refreshing. If it does well, cool. If not, like we'll have had fun making it, I hope.
There's also after Elden Ring, there's also Among Us. Have you heard of that? That's a pretty new. It's a hot new
Fall
game.
Guys.
Fall Guys. There's another. You could do some skits about that. I've heard of this one called Minecraft. Have you heard of it?
Look, Minecraft skits would probably do really well.
They probably would. Minecraft's timeless. Minecraft is timeless. Everybody loves Minecraft. Excellent.
So we've got
some future plans of like what there can be ways to branch out from just the D&D stuff as well. And so it would be under the umbrella of Deerstalker, but it wouldn't be One for All. One for All would remain the title of the D&D things.
Yeah, so we're always looking to the future, so we'll see. I've obviously got heaps of ideas still in the tank for some dumb stuff to happen. I don't know if I should say this, but I've already like written the first like pilot script for a half-hour long D&D One for All show.
Nice.
So
I look forward to hearing about it. That's news to fall, apparently.
Nixie's in it.
No, she's not.
It would have been pretty hilarious if she wasn't. Half-hour skit. Lorquin says, before you dig too deep, Rob, Viva are also doing Dark Souls Elden Ring skits. Are they actually? Wow, who knew?
What? Oh my gosh. All those minds.
Who knew? Yeah, there's nothing new under the sun. PUBG skit videos, yeah.
Oh my god.
Goldie says they actually do have a PUBG skit video and with like 0 views.
Oh yeah, you guys do have a PUBG. You guys got a Fortnite one as well.
Is it PUBG or is it It's Fortnite?
Oh no, it's Fortnite. Pardon me.
Is it Fortnite?
Yeah.
Same.
They did
all these
Fortnite
battle
video.
royales look the same.
I'm trying to learn one of those.
First-person shooter battle royale.
Because I mean, can we say that you had some other projects as well in different time periods opposed to fantasy, Elliott?
Oh, like what?
No, you can't.
Well, I mean, okay, I will take that cue as no.
Overwatch 2.
Yeah, there's Overwatch 2. Let's not do Overwatch again.
So I like to wrap out with talking about some questions from my chat because I'm completely ignoring them while we're while we're here chatting. I've got fascinating guests to talk to instead, but I am seeing the questions as they're coming, guys, especially if you are using your channel point redemption to, say, ask a D&D question. If you do that, it goes into the redemptions list, and then it won't get lost. So if you have any questions for me or anyone here, make sure to ask it using one of the channel point redemptions, and I'll get to that in a moment, and we'll start asking those questions. But before we do, the last sorts of questions I've just had like some quick fire stuff that came up for me while I was watching the trailers. One question I had since season 3 or 4 maybe was, why did Kendall swap sides in the real life table? Why is the DM on the other side now?
Oh.
Logistical reason?
Because so it's actually Eva's apartment that we were shooting in.
Right.
And she moved to a different apartment, so it was we just went with that. And like I could have like horizontally flipped everything just to keep it the same.
People are gonna notice with like something. Somebody's moles.
I'm sure,
on
like
the wrong
side. The writing on the DM screen. It's like, why is it
the writing on the DM screen. Foshling's hair streaks on the other side. Yeah. If it's Eva's place, I imagine it's also the next question. Whose are all of the books and dice and terrain and things that you usually set out on the table? Is that all Eva's stuff?
Not all of it. Some of it's our own dice, and some of it's Kendall's.
Yeah, Kendall's a nerd with a lot of books.
Some I think we also got from sponsors. Some of the terrain stuff, no?
No, so that's a combination of Kendall's own possessions, Wayne's some handmade pieces.
Yeah, Mogdar gave us some stuff as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so our themed dice are made by Underdark Dice, which
Underdark,
is Mogdar. Yeah.
He also did our logo.
Yeah, and our little art, the art.
The one for all, or the
ones,
Deerstalker?
The one for all one.
Nice. That's
cool. He's a very talented artist, unlike in the videos.
Unlike in the videos. Speaking of Mogdar, though, how many guest stars are we seeing in season 5? Because there's quite a few that we've seen in the trailer.
There's too many. There's actually 5 people coming on.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's fun. I think, in my mind, from season 1 to 4, and also the little ads we did for Wizards of the Coast, it's like we've kind of seen the party together, and a lot of that dynamic. We've seen it. We've kind of been there, done that. So it's really fun to just bring on extra guests, just to kind of shake things up and see how it goes. And we quickly realized that there were a lot of people sitting at the tabletop with not that much to do in the episode. So we kind of been subbing people in and out. So basically that just means people who actually in the episode get more screen time and they get more impact on the plot. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see how these new people come in and shake things up.
Makes sense. Yeah, looking forward to it. The last question I had was, there's a wedding? What is that about? Why is Eva getting married? What is?
Ooh, you have to wait and find out.
I just loved. I went through it before, and I was just seeing if there was any Easter eggs in the background or anything. So I was going through frame at a time through the trailer, and then and doing it that way. And I don't know why it took me doing it that way to notice, but Forgeling just you're dabbing your eyes with her train.
Yeah, there's some moments where Elliott's yeah, do that, and then it's do you have to do that?
Do you really?
And we find the line in between.
You find that line and cross it as often as possible.
And we have Nixie eating the flowers as well in the next shot.
Amazing.
Nixie eats a lot of weird stuff this season.
It was so dusty as well. They had so much dust on them, and so I'm putting them in my mouth and then going.
Oh, gross.
I'm also allergic to dust, so that doesn't help.
Oh, that's not good at all.
But it made a very good shot.
But hey, yeah, you gotta suffer for your art. That's what we were saying before, aren't we? That's the art is the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
I pre-dusted those flowers for a bit of a laugh.
with something.
Cheese dust.
Yeah, cheese dust. Lynn's just coming out with cheese dust.
All right, we'll start getting into chat questions then, because we've got a few rolling in. We want to have time to get to them all. So, firstly, we have from Clem Approves, which costume of Kendall's
Hi, Clem.
Which costume of Kendall's took the longest to put on? I assume the marquee with all of the red.
Is it? It's not BBEG, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, Balgrinus.
BBEG, yeah, it took a while. If it's a makeup costume combination, because I think, yeah, BBEG.
Oh yeah, Ligma.
Ligma did take a long time. Ligma was a really extensive, but that's not One for All. That's Lord of the Rings. So.
Which is canon, by the way.
Which is canon.
Yeah.
We've now made Ligma. Yeah. But in actual, I think it was. I don't know. I mean, there's a character coming up who took a while in one of the. I don't know if I can. I mean, no, you saw it in the trailer. It's a Mogdar episode.
The other
he's in
orc, is he?
Yeah, he's in a full prosthetic that I had to make from scratch.
Wow.
That took a while.
What did you make it out of? Like foam or something? How do you?
Latex. Yeah.
Latex.
It's just I just sculpted it in clay, took a cast of that, then took a cast of that in latex, just slip cast because it's the cheapest way to do things because we don't got foam latex money.
See, this is why I love Jen. It's just like I just don't know what she's talking about half the time.
I know, right?
She's like, I'm just doing this amazing thing. It's like no big deal, and I'm also saving money.
Latex sculpts out, and then I made a brand new nose from nothing. I'm like, how do you? That's magic. You just made a nose from nothing. That was magic.
Well, now we have that for like future. So. But yeah, that would have
foam latex. Just have it.
That's just later. No. But BBG was a while. Mogdar's mom took a while because facial prosthetics always take the longest. And then I'm trying to think of a third. Marky doesn't actually take that long because it's just body paint. It's just like Nixie, basically. It's just another Nixie. Turns out Marky is Nixie's dad.
Bucket into the face. You're done.
Yeah, I can't think of anything because I know Ara Crocker took a while, but that was just costume. So yeah, nothing else is jumping to mind.
Get out of here,
I have to look through my Instagram and see what we did.
Balgrinus took a while as well.
BBG does take a while. It took longer the first time we did it because I didn't have access to a battery.
Pale-skinned one with the.
He's my favorite character on it. He's literally my favorite. The second time we did him,
Also,
I love him
that
so much.
day was quite hot. We were on a beach. It was quite hot that day. Like it was a lot.
You couldn't look at the water because of the glare.
It was so bright.
Yeah, you guys were complaining about the glare, but because of my scleras, I didn't get it.
Oh, your sunglasses.
Like, I'm fine. Why are you guys complaining?
Also the warden. The warden took a while as well in season 3.
Yeah,
because
and then we poured porridge on his face.
It was funny. But, except you didn't use the porridge take for the actual episode.
We wrote a song that had very
like
specific timing to hit.
It's so dumb. Anyway, yeah.
From N Buffy, what is your proudest accomplishment to date?
What is my greatest achievement?
Yeah, greatest achievement. Proudest accomplishment. Shit, man. I'm trying to think for me as well.
Just in life in general, or on the show specifically?
Generally in life.
Yeah, not dead.
Yeah, I'm not dead yet.
Survive 2020.
I think for me it was probably when we were filming season 3, the Paladin episode, and my shots were right at the end of the day, the night filming. So we filmed from like 3? No, when did we film? We started filming at like Elliott.
At nightfall. So you started about 7 o'clock.
Yeah, so we started at 7, and then we filmed until about 4 a.m. in the morning. So it was about 1 or 2 in the morning when we started like turning around to get my shots, and it was raining as well. So it was night. It was cold. It was raining, and I had to do my scene where I was tied up on the pillar and do that. And like everyone else was just tired. Everyone was exhausted, and I was kind of like, okay, look, I've taken all my decks so that my ADHD brain is like on it, and I was just like, all right, just keep rolling. Don't stop. Just keep rolling. If I stuff up, I'm gonna start again. We'll just keep rolling. Don't stop. Like, let's just try and get this done. Yeah. And I think I got it pretty. I was actually pretty proud of myself after that, because
it was honestly such an amazing performance, because it's like we didn't have to like start. We didn't even have to go for a second take. It was just like I've never seen like Fall just so focused and just nailing it like
so from
line
then on,
after line.
So
just
from
like
then on, I
holy
only
crap.
ever record her at 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
make sure all of her scenes are at 2 in the morning.
After rain.
After rain. She's tied up
Yeah,
to
and
a
also
pillar.
because it was raining, like my Nixie makeup was like running and everything as well. And so, like, it was just really important just to get it done and dusted so that, we didn't have to worry about my makeup running. We didn't have to worry about, like, the fire or the effects or, like, all that sort of stuff.
What did you do about the makeup running thing? Because when we were shooting D&D Logic, I had Adam in blue tiefling makeup, and it was like everybody was following him around with umbrellas because a single drip of rain suddenly fucks up everything.
Was the best a character decision I could have made.
Because the pink doesn't show up as streaky as easily?
Yeah, because with pink, it's so much more forgiving if it starts looking a bit patchy.
Yeah.
So because I got given the choice of like what color do you want to do. We chose to stay away from like cool tones because Jester was really big around the time.
Right. True.
We want to try and differentiate between like Jester and Nixie. And so yeah, I was like pink sounds good, and we went for like a warmish, like a little bit of like a pale pink as well. So that goes on really well too. So yeah, there are definitely episodes where it has melted a little bit. And you can definitely see my skin tone coming through a lot more. But that's like, that was maybe because we had to use bug spray. So there was one episode where we had heaps of bug spray on us. And
Probably the same
my
episode.
makeup was just, pardon?
Yeah.
Probably the same episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was just, so there've been times where, my makeup has melted, but because I chose pink, like, it's
more forgiving. We noticed like a single drop on Adam's blue face would be like, nope, no, he's
actually
streaked.
Speaking, because obviously you can see in the trailer, there is an episode where I am blue, and that was the episode where my eye contacts were really, really bad,
right.
and so I was actually crying, and I'm like, that's it, like I've spoiled the whole makeup, everything. Anyway, the makeup artist, I don't know if it was Jen, there was another makeup artist I think that was looking after.
There was I know Andrea, Andy.
And she was just like, your tears are magic. They haven't disrupted anything. Like it hasn't affected your makeup at all. This is great.
It was great. I think there is a side point to that I'll throw in there, which is that I specifically chose makeup that wouldn't come off if you got a little bit of water on it.
Yeah, waterproof.
As much as I love your tears being magic, but I also very specifically
don't take this away. She's got magic tears. That's the takeaway.
Yeah, she's because you're painted in the same. I gave you the same color that basically Zephyr was painted in, because we had an extra. And because I also had to do Blitherin's makeup, I have a little bit of experience with blue paint. That's the one thing that I can actually do is blue paint.
Right. We have a lot of blue people this season.
It was tough.
And I wasn't there for most of them. But because we usually use I usually use packs if there's going to be something involving sweat or water. I usually use packs, but Nixie doesn't need packs because it very rarely comes off. And when it does, you can't tell. It's only with like Mogdar is in Pax paint. I'm in Pax paint. And I think that Zephyr was in Pax paint as well, so that helps with the wet situation.
Sounds like you know what you're talking about. Who knew? Isn't it useful, Elliott, when you can surround yourself with people who know what the fuck they're doing?
I love PAX.
I love PAX. PAX Australia was one of my
You can only get it once a year.
Man. Yeah, you can only go once a year. I'm already looking forward to the next PAX.
It's like a seasonal thing on Stardew.
Don't get me thinking about Stardew yet.
Oh yeah, sorry, man.
Redial asked, what would be a good place to get started for people who are new to Deerstalker Pictures? Would it be season 1, episode 1, or something less obvious?
Yes.
Baywatch.
You said
I don't know. I think watch season 3, episode 1, and then be like, cool. This is what they're about. If you want to know what we're about, season 3, episode 1 is the one to watch.
Right.
And then go to the beginning, watch it all 3 times. We get the views.
Yeah, and then also season 3, episode 1 is in my opinion, one of the best episodes. So it's kind of all down. Yeah, Bardic. It's a musical, so it's all downhill from there.
Yeah, either do it first or do it last.
Yeah.
Just build up to it, or start amazing and then peter off. Curly Richo asks, what's everyone's favourite character type to act as, i.e. evil villain, hero, sidekick, etc.? I like playing a villain. I really like villain characters. I like being able to unleash evil genius plans and get away with it, because you can't do that in society.
Yeah.
I love acts of a campaign that have like a green dragon or a beholder or something as like the big bad, something that is in the lore very intelligent and tactical and stuff, because then I can employ a bunch of like tactics, and Archfey are amazing ones as well, because then you can like you're always second guessing what they're doing and stuff. I do like that. How about you guys?
So is this playing in D&D or
yeah,
acting?
like acting, playing? What's your
I think
when
for
you're
me,
performing?
I love character, like just characters. Like I love it when they're, you know, more fleshed out. Like you can tell that there's like something else going on. Like I really, because I am a trained actor, so I've like been doing this since I was about 7. And so like I really love it when I can like dig my nails and my teeth into like a character and like really kind of extrapolate upon like the small things.
Yeah.
So like, you know, sometimes for Nixie, like I'll add small details. Like the fact that she's never comfortable around other tieflings. You can rewatch these episodes and you'll see that she's just never comfortable when there's another tiefling around. And you know that does get explored a little. Yeah, we got beefling.
That's so shit.
Yeah, no, I love complicated and not totally like clear characters.
Yeah.
So like, you know, again with Nixie, like it's kind of like, is she evil? Is she good? It's not really like it's really obvious. And like, you know, she doesn't.
Is she just simple because she's got a 0 intelligence?
Yeah, is she just simple, or is there something else there, or like, yeah, it's like a whole. It's like, I don't know. I love playing Nixie just because like I do find her like fun to kind of play with.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's I really enjoy characters. That, you know, I think tropes can be a little bit too diminishing, or like ones like.
I think they have their purpose. Like tropes can be useful for quick things. Like the whole point of language is that I can say a single word and it can infer to you an entire idea that I'm thinking of, and it's about efficiency. And tropes are the same for storytelling. I can give a trope and you can immediately go, I know who that character's meant to be, or I know how I'm meant to feel about that person.
Yeah. I love villains where you actually agree with their message, but not with the way that they do it. Like I love that kind of villain.
You can be like, I can see why you got to this point, but there
should
have been an off ramp at some point before you got here.
Before you got here.
Rob's always bringing that villain up. Well, we'll talk about it later.
Thomas, favorite type of role to play?
In stark contrast, I'm not trained in anything.
Oh, shocker.
Yeah, who knew? But like, as far as actually at the table, I think there was one character that I really enjoyed playing with you, actually, Rob. And this was I was talking to Dredd about this before. It was the lead up to Storm King's Thunder. We did a prelude.
Right, yeah.
And you were playing the like the archer, and then I was playing a little like a little teeny bopper elf guy, and it was fun because it got dramatic, and it was like it was a fun game. Just emotional contrast. I actually enjoy putting that in, and sometimes it works as a bit of a lancing device. It's like a snap back into like there are emotions. There's very real topics in a very fantasy situation.
Yeah,
and I love that.
That's fun. Jen, characters to play?
As far as like acting wise, I haven't been able to do a lot of it, but I do have a role coming up that I'm pretty excited for. I really like intense characters in the sense of like not necessarily like as an evil or good or anything, but just like really like no nonsense, really like. So I think it's because it's like the polar opposite to how I am in real life. Like one of my favorite cosplays to do is like Darth Talon. Because you get to kind of put on the resting bitch face and just like snarl at people, and they're always like, that's so cool and amazing and great, and you're like, cool, I can be like a dick to you. but it's I really enjoy those. I really enjoy those characters. At the table, I usually go for like I go for like really I like fast talking characters because I kind of like to not let myself think too long before I interact at the table, because otherwise I'll not respond to someone like very quickly, which I feel like can kind of be stifling at a table if someone is like taking too long to think, what would my character say in this situation? So I like to just kind of let it flow, and a part of that is to just let myself speak as my character. Tom's experienced this a couple of times with my character. We have a D&D game, and we also did like a one-shot Pathfinder thing where I played like a surfer chick voice. And I was just like, hey dudes, how's it going? Chillax. Like it was like but it's just I like characters at the table where you just kind of just let it all come out really quickly. Usually nice characters, but also with a little bit of snark in there.
Quicker, thinking quicker, or quick-witted, or whatever.
I think it also comes with being Australian, is that you talk really fast.
Says the Canadian.
How about Elliott? You ever do performances in front of the screen? I know for a fact you do, because there's a little snip of you and Goldie in the trailer.
Yeah, we had to have our cameo.
Yes.
Long story behind that, but I will not go into that right now. I just, whenever I play D&D, I just really like playing like big dumb himbos, you know, just like wholesome, just happy to be there, but just like so fucking dumb. Sorry.
Like kill it.
Like kill it. Like kill it's such a sweetheart. And I guess it's just because it's so not me in real life.
Fair enough. Makes sense. All right. Clem Approves asks, is that the technotropism?
Yes.
He's back again.
Thanks for being here.
The Fancy Unicorn asks, what can people win on your Twitter giveaway? You have a Twitter giveaway?
You do. You do.
What can we win? I believe Goldie's in the chat and she's answered that. I don't know off the top of my head.
Did you answer it?
It's like if you didn't, like a gift pack kind of thing.
Posted dice, signed, a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah.
You can win a poster that's been signed by the cast, as well as some of our metal dice that we're doing.
Ooh, fancy. Make sure to head over to Twitter and give them do you follow people on Twitter? To follow them and all that other stuff. You know, I'm good with socials.
We're not verified. Sorry.
We're
not going to pay for either.
Redile asks, question for everyone: when was the first game of D&D you ever played, and what was your first character? Let's go quick fire round. We'll start with you, Thomas. First time you ever played D&D, what was your first character?
I think I was about 11 years old. I went to library camp. I played, it's as lame as it sounds. Yeah, exactly. It was like, I think, 3rd edition. I believe I played a dwarf.
Nice. Elliott?
This was back in just before the of season 1. Eva introduced us to our first game of D&D, which started everything, and I played Thriathar, a greasy rogue who was a tabaxi but also had a mysterious zip on the back of their neck.
Oh, okay. I'm going to hear about the story about that at some other point. Full?
I played a high elf eunuch called Billy. And it was 5e, and I was playing it with some friends because they wanted to trial me for another game that they were preparing, and they were like, "We don't know if you're going to be any good yet, so let's just trial you."
An audition game of D&D. Nice.
Yeah.
Jen?
So I played Billy.
I'm what you call a later in life D&D player. So I literally only started playing after I started working on One for All. Not because I didn't want to, but because I didn't have anyone to play with ever. So this is the first time I actually had fellow nerd friends, and I played with with Elliott and Eva. Eva ran Kendra ran a game where a bunch of us from the cast and crew got together and did a little game, and I played a half elf, half orc druid named Nugget.
Elf, half orc. And my character,
yeah.
My first was also a 5e. I'm a relatively newer D&D player. Started about 6.5 years ago.
Peasants.
6.5 years ago, I started at 5e. My first character was a wood elf monk called Tukamil. Curly Richo asks, what's everyone's favourite D&D character they've ever played? Well, there you go then. We're just same question twice. We'll answer both of those at once. Nomine asks, what's a location that you'd like to film at next?
Ooh.
I mean,
New Zealand.
Venerable Volcano,
Underwater.
Marianas Trench.
Yeah, go on, keep going.
The moon.
Yeah, moon is good. Moon is good.
Mars.
The studio where they shot the moon landing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. With all the LED lights that didn't.
VLDL headquarters.
Yeah, I was gonna say VLDL studio for me. Like, I want to just get into the goddamn thing.
Let's all go and shoot something together. Oh.
Everybody, yeah, all of us should shoot at the VLDL studios. I've decided.
The crossover that everyone's asking for.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to New Zealand early next year, so I'm kind of being like, where is it?
Oh yeah, me too. We all just happen to be there at the same time.
Yeah,
What are the chances?
What are the chances? Everyone but Kendall.
Yes.
And that's the crossover. It's me taking over as DM.
You think
Just for one scene. Nobody talks
Just for one
about
scene.
it.
Just no. That's actually genuinely. That's actually what I've got in mind for the first time that we do end up doing a crossover. Whatever it ends up looking like, I would love for the first time to just be like something that happens in the background and nobody talks about it.
Oh my god, you just walk across the screen.
if you guys are filming and we just like walk past in the woods,
and you just walk past
like,
in the
and that's
background
it.
and nobody mentions it, and it has to, we have to wait until the comments actually pick up on it to be like, what the fuck? How much time and money and effort have they put into like making a
Just
crossover just to never actually refer to
and
it?
that was the entire crossover.
And then obviously like several episodes later or whatever, we've filmed the actual crossover stuff. But yeah,
I mean, you know that in the upcoming season, there's like the Aarakocra costume. It's actually Rob in that costume.
yeah, like in Hot Fuzz and stuff when they say like Peter Jackson's the guy who stabs him, the Santa who stabs him with the knife, and like and there's Kate
or like
Blanchett
Deadpool
or something,
where
and
Brad Pitt plays the
Brad
Invisible
Pitt.
Man.
and Brad Pitt, Invisible Man guy. Yeah, I love that sort of shit. And the last question we have in the review in the queue here is from Batmerp saying, "Have any of you watched Dark on Netflix?"
Oh, great show.
And if not, what is your favorite TV show or movie instead? Assuming that if we have watched it, it is our favorite. Only if you haven't, what is your favorite? My favorite TV shows, for dramas, it would be Breaking Bad. For mysteries, it would be the first 3 seasons of Lost. Don't go after that. Don't bother season 4 or onwards. And for comedies or short shows would be Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, Atlas so
Good
strong.
picks.
I'd go for drama. I really enjoyed Luther. I guess for another sort of drama, I'm not sure if anyone's watched Evil. Very, very cool concept, very fun, well executed. It's kind of like it jumped. Oh man, it just go watch it. It's really fun from like a creator consumer perspective.
Yeah. Cool. Elliott, Fall, Jen.
Comedy. Garth Marenghi's Dark Place is amazing.
I haven't seen that in so long. It's so good.
Oh, it holds up. It's so funny. It's so good. As a filmmaker and as a lover of like horror,
the things that always come to mind for me is like the panning in on the windows of the hospital and then just like moving at the last second.
It's so good. It's so funny. It's
not deciding which window they're panning on and things like that.
I feel like it's just made for me, and like I'm honestly, it's one of those things where it's like
crushing the coffee cup and just like the lack of continuity.
When like Richard Ayade just like at the funeral just has the shotgun and it's just like keeps amazing. You guys should all watch it.
You're a loose cannon. That whole thing about the cards. He plays from his own deck. He's got an ace up his sleeve. That is a good show. Check out Garth Marenghi's Dark Place if you haven't already. Fall, Jen,
on YouTube.
I agree with you. Breaking Bad, great drama series. I think like I've just started rewatching, but like properly watching Steven Universe. And I've started that from the beginning, and like now I'm on the last season that they've just released last year. And honestly, I watched it as like a young when I was younger, but like as an adult, like rewatching it, I'm just like, okay, so this is actually a really good series, and it teaches you a lot about like healthy relationships and boundaries and all that fun sort of stuff. So I really like that show. And then my favorite film from when I was a kid, still now, is Big Fish.
Oh, nice.
Sorry, you said Treasure Planet really weird, but okay.
Oh,
Treasure Planet,
Treasure Planet actually is also a massive, like, big movie for me. I love it.
Nice.
I'm still gonna make that Amelia cosplay one day.
Yeah, she's on my list.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be old young boy.
Old young boy.
Oh,
Do you want to be the dog man?
I'll be dog man.
Just while we were talking about cosplays, I just was reminded of your what's her name? The character from Detroit Become Human, Kara, is it?
Oh, Kara.
That was
yes.
incredible. I've seen your cosplay of that. Oof.
Oh,
fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, really good.
Thank
I really
you so
loved
much.
that.
I
Really loved that
plucked
game.
my eyebrows for that because she has very straight eyebrows.
right.
And I was like, well, guess I'll pluck my eyebrow.
It's a really good game, and I thought you did a very good job of it. Jen, your favorite movies?
Good. I think my favorite TV show at the moment is probably Cyberpunk Netrunners. We binge watched that in one night and regretted it because it's really, really heavy. But it's so well done, and I love the game so much, so it has special place. And then I really love the movie Shape of Water.
Oh,
because
good choice.
anything Doug Jones, basically. Except for Bye Bye Man, don't watch that.
Well, there you go then. Some ending off the short rest with some suggestions of other things to watch once you've binged all of Deerstalker Pictures, One for All, and Viva La Dirt League, D&D, and all of that stuff.
None of you said One for All, so we're gonna have a
The web series.
Yeah, favorite web series. That's what the question should have been.
Yeah, we didn't get asked.
D&D logic.
All right. So we will wrap up our short rest. We need to get back to the volcano. We need to get back to trying to work out how to get out of this fire giant civilization, out of this underwater urban volcano environment, and back to the real world. As we are getting ready for heading out on a raid, I will send you guys to the season 5 trailer once again. And then once the trailer runs up, I'll send you off on a raid to somebody. So stick around to watch the whole thing, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
A crime has been committed. One of you shall answer. It was her. It was that pink tiefling.
Whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty?
What'd I do?
Arson! Murder! Magic!
Stop hitting me so hard!
Why did you break in here?
He's cheating! Disqualify him!
Barely broke a sweat.
You know, I had a whole session planned out, and then you just went ahead and murder herbered your way through the whole town and then went completely off the rails. So now I am improvising a whole new campaign on the fly, so I'm sorry if it's not as consistent as it could be.
Now, can we get this game back on track?
With friendship, you get your wish. With friendship, I'll catch you like a fish.
Friendship means you get your turn. Friendship helps your enemies burn.
Friendship is the food on your plate. It's a knife in the throat of the people that you hate. It's the white hot rage that helps you in the war. It's the brains on the walls and the blood on the floor.
We'll destroy you.
And that's what friends are for.
Oh, damn, it's over already. Oh well, YouTube seems to think that you'd like this video next, so give that one a watch, please.